Hello, I was supposed to come to you 20 parts ago, but now I'm here. Hi. What's wrong?
What's up, Popola?
Oh, hi. I just got a strange letter in the mail.
Dearest Popola, I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing in hopes of bringing to your attention a certain dream issue of concern regarding recent events in Dream the Village? What? I was hoping I might be dream able to get your advice dream on the matter. What? Recently there have been dream reports of a certain dream evil dream empty dream curse evil dream words dream and dream someone dream.
That's
Fuck's sake.
certainly one bizarre piece.
Alright, so there was a problem somewhere.
Who's it from?
The mayor of a small village in the Forest of Myth. It's a wooded area up north.
Wait a minute. My memory's starting to surface. Wasn't that a place wasn't that where we were supposed to go next? According to our dream?
The Forest of Myth?
They're usually a bright and cheerful group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I am also on your side about having a bad feeling about this.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
You will? But
what?
Don't worry about it. I've got business there anyway.
oh, well, all right. Thank you.
How do I get to this mythical forest? Okay. Thank you for not telling me anything. So someone's having dreams. Who the fuck is this mayor of the Forest of Myth? Which is kind of a stupid name to give a place, because it's a myth. Alright. How do we need to go? We need to go to the northern plains. I shall venture forth instantly. Ow. Roll. Until we get more quests. And then we are gonna be... Which basically, when we're done with the Forest of Myth, we're back to the questing saga. Which we have now potentially completed 50% of. I mean, last time we were at 40%, 45%. Yeah, 50! Ha! We got it, boys! We did it! 50% of the quests have been done. Alright, come on, Kaine. We must venture forth. Even though I would still like to learn your backstory. Oh, shit. In a bit. It's the speed of this thing. And that fucker won't attack me. Stop. See ya. Thanks, bot. The Bobster does it again with the power of speed. What a legend. 35 in 1 hour. I keep seeing that Sonic Frontiers Let's Play go up and nothing else. The Forest of Myth. Are there actual people? Who the fuck was that? There are people here. I like how this place is called the Forest of Myth, but it's not a myth. So what's so
Sure is quiet here.
mythical about it?
Silence bodes ill. There's trouble on the way.
Uh-oh.
I'm certain of it.
Of course you
You
are.
know, a little optimism now and then wouldn't hurt, Vice.
Ah,
Such cheek.
fuck you! Aha! Save point. We are now in the Forest of Myth. Quest! Why, are you fucking kidding me?
Beware.
Oh, hey, Mayor!
Beware the words.
DS.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words.
Right? The sealed verse?
Those who dream.
Wait, the sealed verse?
Those
Could that
who
be it?
dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Uh-oh. Vice's voice rose in a quizzical
It
way.
is not quizzical.
Wait.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered as he slowly opened his eyes.
Perhaps we should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
The mayor stared at Shadow and Vice.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
The mayor explained. In the past weeks, a mysterious disease called the Deathdream has spread across the forest of myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor had determined the Deathdream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. Vice stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here. Are you saying that we have been absorbed into
He
your
said.
dream?
He said,
Well, yes,
said the
I
mayor,
think you have.
In other words,
said Shadow.
caught the death dream?
Uh-oh. Before the mayor could confirm Shadow's suspicions, Vice exploded with rage.
Ridiculous. Preposterous. Completely unfathomable on every conceivable level.
Oh, God.
I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Though polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remarks.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace, then quickly changed the subject to who Shadow had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A
Said the
certain
mayor.
Conversation, a specific word, something.
I mean, you said dream. Shadow and Vice racked their brains but could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider. Too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Vice does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Vice chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading what's on the paper. Don't blame the narrator, blame the writer.
It has demolished it utterly.
Oh, okay. Well, I did my job. I'm proud of myself, actually. Irritated, Vice looked skyward, as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing.
I like this so much.
Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to Shadow like a contagion. Wait, said Shadow suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? Well, that villager told us to watch for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with renewed interest, pushing a startled Vice aside in the process. He must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Some specific combination of words. What was it? It was about dreaming or something that dreams or... Oh, what the hell was it? A sheep! Cried Vice suddenly, blurting out the first thing that popped to his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thought, Shadow's face suddenly lit up. I remember he said, those who dream. That's what he said. I'm sure of it. At this, the mayor produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket. He flipped through them a few times before finally nodding his approval at Shadow. That sounds right, he said, as a stray sheet of paper fluttered to the ground. My notes also mentioned something about that. I bet it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. The mayor shook his head. His worn pencil stopped tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. For the last month, I've done nothing but study the disease we called Deathdream. I mean, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along, but I never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. The mayor paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Vice immediately fired back. I applaud the force of will it takes to research a disease in your dreams. But perhaps we should bend your efforts to escaping this place instead of trying to understand it. The mayor's hand tightened around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my own dream, I've been looking for a way out. But I don't think it exists. I mean, this is my dream, right? If there was an exit, I'd know about it. He paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. But once this disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the color out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again. I want us to be free. And I won't stop trying until it happens. Shadow nodded in agreement. Wait a second. I did not. Look, if we could be of any help, Shadow said, just ask. Now hold on, I did not just say that. Silence, cried Vice. The Grimoire looked from Shadow to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Vice's face is always confident, thank you very much. Now see here, Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. But yet you seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived, yes? The mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, you're right, you're right! I had no idea you were coming. The human imagination is a limitless engine, said Vice, and dreams are fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, said the mayor. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. The mayor suddenly felt as if he could breathe again. He'd almost forgotten what it was like. Good luck, you two. He called at the departing forms of Shadow and Vice. We're all counting on you. As Shadow slowly faded into the misty forest, the mayor was struck by a sense of deja vu. I saw this man once before, he thought. But where? Shadow's mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Was the mayor the one who was like saying to me about the sealed verse? Hours earlier, when the beauty of the place was still a new thing, he'd been confident they could get in, find an exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around them. The mist made it difficult to see more than a foot in any direction, and moss-covered rocks seemed determined to twist his ankle. How long is this fucking thing? More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on the rough bark of a tree, and his hand now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Vice was proving to be a spectacularly poor traveling companion, unhindered by either terrain or physical effort. He spent most of his time urging Shadow to pick up the pace and grumbling about their slow progress. Finally, after Vice muttered something about legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, Shadow snapped. Okay, Vice, cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. Shadow leaned against the tree and tried to stretch the knots from his back. How can this stupid forest be so big? He muttered to himself. The moment the words tumbled from his mouth, cacophony, I don't know, of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out at a volume that rattled his teeth. Shadow slapped his hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Vice, what's going on? Shadow could see Vice's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting at it in a tornado. The insect screamed. The forest howled. And then just as Shadow's ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Zree, 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 zree. Shak, shak, shak. Chi. 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 I don't know. I'm just trying to make noises. Woo, 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 wah. Woo, 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 wah. Shik, shik, shik. Shik, 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 shik. As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, Shadow began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise, it's something else. The insects weren't just calling out, they were asking a question. 1, with it is lacking. 2, with it is ideal. 3, with it dangerous. What is it? By my pages. Is this a riddle? I guess so. I mean, it feels sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. Then I leave it to you to answer. 1, with it is lacking. 2, with it is ideal. And 3, with it is dangerous. What is it? A secret seesaw. 1 is lacking, 2 is ideal, and 3 is dangerous. Secret? Inwardly furious that Vice left the task to him, Shadow sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. It's a secret. Right? The sound of the insect stopped as suddenly it began. The forest ungrowth parted before Shadow like a rippling wave, opening a new path. These forest anthropes are making the road for us, said Vice with glee. Pleased at passing the test, Shadow moved on with new intensity. The path offered his body relief from the undergrowth, but gave even greater cheer to his mind. As long as they were on a path, their journey had purpose. Oh my god, dude. When does this end? I'm not good at reading. I don't like it. The words are starting to spin. I have to put so much effort, so much energy in just keeping the words together so I can fucking read them. Like literally, the letters are they're starting to spin for me. I have dyslexia, by the way, just so you know. I guess the forest had accepted us, huh? Said Shadow after a bit. Thank God, like I've watched a lot of English stuff, so my brain can fill in words. That's the only way I can read this stuff, cause like, yeah, that must be what they said. Vice spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of this forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. We have no idea where this path leads. As Vice finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, Shadow picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. I think NieR Automata had the stupid, but I like the beginning part because Vice was just talking back, but right now nobody's speaking. Good heavens, said Vice. Of course he would. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. When the rock finally stopped moving and sank to the bottom of the spring, the ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Sunlight. Absurdly easy, barked Vice. Now answer it. Shadow grit his teeth and tried not to reach out and strangle his companion. Fuck you, Vice! Easy! Now do the work. Fine! Wat ben jij mee bezig? She's eating her... There's like cloth on her like bench, I guess you could say. And she's eating it! Fine! He's right after all. This one is pretty easy. I enter through the window but break no glass when night falls. Wait, break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? A bird, a letter, sunlight! I mean, there's no sunlight. There are birds in the night, but when they enter a room, the window breaks. Same with a letter, but sunlight doesn't. It's sunlight. I knew this. I knew this. I am Batman once again. I do not need Batman for this one. A plume of water suddenly burst from the spring. Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the plume, creating a shimmering rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. In all my years, Vice said softly, I have never seen such a sight. Perhaps I have misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, cried Shadow, awakening Vice from his daze. There's a house or something over there. Glancing in the direction of his friend's extended hand, Vice saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Vice? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Shadow walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large back cape, while his face was obscured by mist. Began Shadow before he could get any further. The cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? Oh, Batman, I could use your help on this one. Shadow tried to ask the cloaked man who he was and what he was doing here, but he simply repeated the question. If we wish to engage this man in conversation, it seems we must answer this riddle. Yeah, I suppose. Well, at least it's an easy one. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but I end the night with 3. What am I? A man, a demon, an angel. I don't know! Riddle me this, Batman! I don't care. Yeah, that was sunlight. I have 4 legs in the morning, at 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. What am I? Choose a man for your final answer. Why? I have 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon, and end the night with 3. Like, what? I don't get it. Why? Why? A man? The mist dissolved from the cloaked figure as he spoke a single word. Correct. Why? With that, the man flung his... Why? I want to know. Actually want to know. I'm just going to type this riddle in here. It's a human being who crawls as a baby, stands on 2 legs as an adult, and walks with a stick at an old age. Oh my god, I would have never thought of that. That makes so much sense. But he said morning, noon, and night, so I'm like, what do you mean? With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity to be Dark of the Moon Megatron. You're the mayor. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor you know. Now listen to my words. Long ago, I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry, what's that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Deathdream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. Does this mean the whole thing about I saw a version of you that was not yourself? Does that mean that this game actually does have multiple playthroughs? With that, the man turned his heel and slammed the door behind him. As Shadow watched, mist seeped up from the ground and enveloped the cottage, erasing it from existence. When Shadow and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy! You made it! You actually made it back! His left hand grasped Shadow's and pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. God, by heaven, stop shaking me, fool! We have not even told you if we were successful or not. The mayor smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Shadow withdrew himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. We broke the Deathdream's seal, he said. At least I think we did. I like how the first two I could easily figure out, but the third one was like an impossibility for me. Even though a man makes the most amount of sense, because why the fuck would it be either a demon or an angel? The mayor's face beamed as Shadow filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the three of them laid down on the forest ground and fell asleep. Shadow cocked his head. Okay, hang on a second, this is crazy. Why would you just lay down and go to sleep? Cease your endless prattle and go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. Shadow and the mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? It is the words that control the Deathdream. Words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. And once we do, the story will continue. No! Get me out of this hellhole! Give me the fucking sealed verse and piss off! With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy. Their breath slowing. My eyes are growing heavy too from reading all this fucking bullshit. This is the first time, began the mayor, the first time I have felt tired since I was imprisoned here. Well, because usually we're entirely dreamed, but whatever. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn as he remembered nothing more. There you go, I did a loud yawn, because I actually had to yawn. You actually had to yawn. I'm so fucking tired, dude. So I decided to do a loud one, because that's what the game told me to do. The words are absolute, remember? They might have slept for an hour or a year. When we couldn't have slept for a year. What about Jonah? When they awoke, things had slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Shadow, oh my god, nothing, the words are starting to vanish and the game is starting to return. Shadow shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said, I think we made it. Oh wow, said the mayor in an odd voice. We did it, I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. The Deathdream was spreading through our village, and I wanted to, well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it, but I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and became trapped in my own dream. The mayor started to stand, then collapsed back to earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they work, then glanced at Shadow and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor, as a wry smile crossed his lips. You shall relearn in short order, I am sure. For now, you should return to your home and rest. And this shit should end. No, said the mayor, swaying on unsteady feet. I know I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the Deathdream. I have to save them. The mayor slowly made his way to the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, it explained when the prayer was finished. It's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder, muttered Vice. We should not put our faith in the gods. The mayor shook his head. Not the gods, the words. The legend says that our tree is a home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Shadow and Vice could not contain their surprise. It seemed the goal had been found in the most unexpected of places, even though it was said to us in the dream. Sealed verse and forest of myth. I say, muttered Vice, this is certainly the stroke of luck. As the three of them said their goodbyes, Shadow mentioned the storage man who had given them the third riddle and the mysterious words he had left them with. I once saw a version of you that was not yourself, muttered the mayor. What in the world does that mean? Lost in thought, he stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. Shadow tried to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the Deathdream. It probably doesn't mean anything. Shadow gave the mayor a nod and smiles, but inwardly his thoughts were racing. There's nothing wrong about the mayor and those words. And what exactly is going on here? The riddle would prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
Voice acting! You've returned to me!
Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
I got it! Dark execution magic. Summon magical spikes from the ground to... Oh, I hated this one.